Hey, welcome to a new Project Kamp update. So we bought this big piece of land and are prototyping a more sustainable way of living. Not sure how it's gonna go, but let's see. And in the previous update you've seen the containers arriving with our kitchen and workspace. You've seen us chipping wood, leveling the soil, arriving a van from Mattia. Basically we gathered a lot of elements, but it still looks very rough. And in today's update we're gonna clean it all up and really make sure it's a nice place to be. So this area is gonna be the base camp and it looks a bit rough now. There are some containers dumped there. There's a van, there are some wood chips on the floor. Here's some gravel from fixing the roads. So we gathered all the puzzle pieces in place, but today it's time to properly set up everything. So the containers are placed here, but as you can see the area around it is still pretty rough. And it's quite exposed to the roads, so we want to clean it up and plant a few bushes there. Inside the workspace container we have a big white tent, which we used in our workspace to melt plastic. And we want to put that right here, so we have some more outside space where we can put things so they're not there. In front of the town center you have this big patch of thorns, which we want to chop out and really make this space for gardening. We're going to move this van a little bit more to the back area where the vans are parked, like mine. And then we have this pile of wood chips here, which we're going to clean up and use to make all the pathways to connect everything together. We're going to start off by cleaning the area here around the workspace. So the whole soil is still covered with thorns, and even though the bushes are gone, all the roots are still here. And as you can see, they're slowly growing back. So the area is now cleaned, and now we're gonna plant some trees here to make a bit of a wall. So first we needed to buy some trees, and we got these cypress because they're dense and grow fast. Very practical reason. But logistically we didn't really think it through. I mean, fitting 15 trees in a car. I mean, a bit tight, but it worked. Trees are now planted. Nice little fence, still needs to grow. Next we're gonna set up the tent. Perfect. Next we're gonna move this little yellow cube. So now we need to put everything on the floor. So, because it might be a bit bumpy. On this side we have some wood from the warehouse to make it higher. And on that side we're digging it so it gets a bit lower. And then it should be balanced. Rita, is it good there?
Getting there.
So now we're gonna clean this area, remove the wood and the bushes and make a pot there. So the soil is now cleaned up, all the thorns are out. Next up we're going to make some pathways around it so we can start planting. So the plan is to make a patch where we can grow some herbs. But the soil is quite dense and rocky, so we first loosen it up a bit. And the aim was to make a big circle shape, like a nice round patch. Which actually looks quite good from below until you fly the drone and you realize it's not really round. And so after this we made another one right next to it, another perfect circle. This one was actually better. And all the grass we took out, we moved it a few meters further around the containers, trying to create a new grass patch. So the soil is now ready. Next up, planting.
Today we are going to buy some trees and bushes.
Yes. We're now heading to the local market to see some tree people. What are you hoping for?
Find enough blueberry bush and to find at least 2 big enough trees to put on the land.
Alright, let's see.
Só vai uma laranja de imbigo temporã.
This looks cool in the van, some plants.
Exotic van.
So what did we buy? Can you name them?
So orange, lemon, cherry, blueberry,
Fig.
almond, fig, kaki,
And one pear as a gift.
yes. Right, so now we have the fruit trees, so we will be going to this very exciting tree shop to buy a few bushes.
You go to a tree shop to buy bushes. Can I get one of these?
Yes.
Can we also get a dolphin like that? Or a lion for the entrance? That would be cool.
We have our trees and bushes, so it's time to start planting. So we are now planting some trees, and the way we do it is to put some manure, in this case some bull manure, and then some soil so that the roots don't touch directly the manure, and then the tree. Cover it up, lots of water, that's it.
So what is this?
This is an avocado tree. You can see the seed right here, giving birth to a new tree.
So Rita is currently finishing up the last trees and bushes to be planted. And in the background we hear some thunder coming because it's gonna rain. And I think this is the first time ever in all these months that we're looking forward to the rain. So it's kind of a big moment. Yeah, rain! You still like the rain?
Yes, I like more the rain now.
But you...
So all the trees and plants are ready now. They were already watered by the rain, and next step would be to put all the wood chips and creating the pads.
So the wood chips we're using, you might have seen it from a few updates ago, where we got a wood chipper to chop down all our leftover wood that was laying around. And this has actually been super valuable material because the bare soil suddenly is not exposed and we can walk on it. So it's really good to have all these wood chips around, and we have a lot of them. So we first just made a lot of piles to make sure we distribute them evenly, and then we spreaded them out to make sure we have a nice thick layer of wood chips on our pathways. So we made a lot of pathways here between the workspace and the kitchen, connecting them together and making sure we can reach all our herbs in the garden. But on this side we also put a lot of wood chips on the floor for the van area, so it's easier to park the vans, it stays free from the weeds, and you have a nice cover on the ground to walk on.
Welcome to the cleanup version of Basekamp. Come with me and I will give you a short guided tour on the new acquirements we did for this Basekamp. We just passed through the visual barrier we've created with these trees that are very quickly growing. Behind the trees we also planted some blueberries, which will give delicious berries in the near future. Workspace is set up, white tent is there, and it can hold very well and dried the things that we just put underneath when it rains. That it has been raining quite a lot. As you can see, wood chips are on the path, and they create the path. They make great sounds, and they are great using for not allowing weeds to grow onto the beds, but also to create quite clear paths for people to walk and not walk all over and destroy too much the grass. We've planted really delicious and very good smelling bushes and flowers, and it's an abundance of things. Now you don't see too much because they are all quite small, but when they grow, this bed should be filled with delicious things for humans and animals. Lots of trees like oranges, like figs, like cherries, like kakis, almonds, lemon, pear, and an avocado just as a grand finale in the middle of those beds. And also we managed to finalize a bit the van area, so now we have a bit of a more welcoming space for the people. So you're welcome to come maybe in 5 years when the fruits are ready to be eaten.
Alright, so that was it for this video. Basekamp is now cleaned up. Not ready yet though, we still need to hook up the kitchen container and the workspace to electricity and this one to water. So we're gonna do that in the next updates. If you want to see that, make sure to subscribe. And if you like what we're doing, make sure to visit support.projectkamp.com to see how you can help out. Thanks for watching, see you in the next update.